men are good at communicating and they want to do it quickly, right? So when the women are speaking, we can't fully be listening all the time because we're trying to speak quickly to get the conversation over with. Like, come on. You want to talk? Okay, let's talk. Okay, so you bring up a subject, wife, and then now you want me to talk just as long as you? Or if I do, you cut me off? Like, no, we ain't doing this today. All right, we're going to end this conversation now and we're going to get to it. But she got more to say. What if I told you that your communication with your wife is actually really good, but your listening skills are absolutely terrible? It's true. I'm going to tell you this right now. Like, comment, subscribe on this because I know you guys, I know y'all out there. I know that you guys are dealing with this area of your life when it comes to communicating and listening, right? If you've been married before, this is for you. If you're married now, this is for you too. That's why I want you guys to comment. Let me know. When we talk about this, I want to know what you guys have to say. So at the end of the day, I'm going to say this real quick. Your communication, men, your communication, I believe, is probably excellent. And when I say it's excellent, it's because men, we get straight to the point. We're not here trying to dance around, do all this extra stuff. You know, it's like a flight, right? An airplane trying to land, but it can't because there's a storm in the area. So it has to circle around. That's what women do. Raise your hand if it's true. If you're in your car, at your job, whatever, raise your hand if you know it's true. And men, we do things a little different. We see the storm and we want to land to get that mug over with. We ain't trying to sit here and do all this song and dance. We literally communicate, to me, very effectively. They ask a question, we answer it to the best of our ability in the shortest path possible. So I believe that your communication, of course, it can be improved. It can always be better than what it is today. But I truly believe that most of the men that are listening to this right now have good communication skills and they're using them when their wives ask them questions, or they did use them when their wife would ask them questions. So the reason why sometimes it bothers them is because you don't elaborate any more than just straight to the point. Now, can that cause problems sometimes? Yes, because your wife loves to talk. And men, one thing I want to know some of your tactics that you've used to either end a conversation quickly, or something that you've done that has sparked the conversation to go longer than you expected. We all have stories, and I can share with you about 1,000 of them that happened within the last month for me. So, but at the end of the day, it's all good. Me and my wife, we get along very well, and I love the fact of learning and growing together, right? It's marriage. Things are going to happen. You're never going to be perfect. And I can't sit here and act like I am because I am not. But the fact is, you got to keep growing, right? So again, the communication for men, I believe we do it pretty well. And it's always just, let's get out what we have to say and move on. Here's the other side, though. The problem is the women, when they're speaking to us, they have a lot to say. And when we respond in a certain way, they usually tell us what? You're not listening. No, you're not listening to me. You're not listening. And guess what happens to us? The eyebrows right here. What do you mean I'm not listening to you? What do you mean? What do you mean I'm not listening? I've been listening to you this whole time. And it's like, they absolutely hate that. And so what ends up happening is maybe the next day, maybe a year from now, you finally kind of understand what it is that they were trying to say to you back then, whether, again, a day, a week, a month, a year. Somewhere along the way, you can start to piece a little bit more together of what they were trying to say. So reason being is because men are good at communicating and they want to do it quickly, right? So when the women are speaking, we can't fully be listening all the time because we're trying to speak quickly to get the conversation over with. Like, come on. How much more can we talk about? Like, what else is there to say? Like, you want to talk? Okay, let's talk. Okay, so you bring up a subject, wife, and then now you want me to talk just as long as you? Or if I do, you cut me off? Like, no, we ain't doing this today. All right, we're gonna end this conversation now and we're gonna get to it. But she got more to say. So then what ends up happening over time is you stop listening as much, start tuning out because the conversation's gone too long. So I don't think men have a problem with communicating as long as the boundaries are set pretty well as far as like how long we're going to actually have this conversation for. You got to get in your right mindset, right? Like I said this before, men, we operate in boxes. Women, they operate with the ball wire. So their connections and their neurons are processing crazy and they're connecting random dots to random dots. And men, we're sitting in this box that's talking about finances. And then she goes from finances to love making. And then she goes from love making to the kids, and from the kids to the job, and from the job to the car, to the car to the bill. And you still stuck in finances. Like, I didn't even have a chance to deal with this yet. So, let me close the finance box. Let me go ahead and over here go to the sex, right? Let's open that up. Oh, wait, she already moved on somewhere else. Okay. So what ends up happening? You're not listening. You're not listening to me. Well, you're trying, and you were doing a great job. Good job, buddy. You were doing a great job listening for the moment, and you're doing a great job communicating until she flipped on you and then started bouncing around everywhere. And that's why I say this. We do a great job communicating. I really believe we do. And the hard thing is listening. So here's what I would encourage you to do. If you have not done this yet, I'm telling you, it's very effective. Put down your phone. Don't use the phone. Okay. Don't use your phone for this scenario. If you have a pen and a notebook, get that out when your wife is talking to you. You can even try this on anybody, right? And instead of interrupting them to get your point across, and I know we could say this for them too, right? We would love for them to do this, but we focusing on us right now, right? We focusing on us fixing ourselves because we can do this. Get the pen, get the notepad, write down what they're saying. Not necessarily what they're saying, but the questions or the responses that you have to what they said. Because when they're finally done talking, what ends up happening is you have a list of things that you can refer to remind them of the things that they even said, because they ain't going to remember all of it. They're not. They're going to hope that you remember all of it. And if you don't, it's on you. Even though they're like, oh, that's right, I did say that. But they ain't going to tell you that, right? Get the notepad. Go and write it down, whatever it is she's talking about finances. And she says something specifically about that. You want to say like, hold up a second, I don't do that. Well, write it down. She said this, I don't do that, and here's why. Okay, cool. But don't just start doing it without her knowing that you're taking notes. Let her know you're taking notes. Let her know it's something that's happening so that she's more like, she might be mad about it, but if she's mad about it, then I guess that's a good thing, because at the end of the day, you're trying to actually better the conversation. You're trying to allow for your communication to be greater, and you're trying to allow for your listening to be even better than what it is. So guess what's going to happen? Things are going to be better for you. They're going to be better for her. They're going to be better for you. They're going to be better for your relationship. If you're not married right now, it will be better for your next one. So start practicing on somebody. You can practice on your children if you have, and you can practice with your boss. You can practice with a friend just to see what it looks like. I'm telling you, just start writing the stuff down on a piece of paper. You don't have to have a full notebook. Well, I ain't got a notebook. You said get a notebook. No, get a piece of paper. If you ain't got a pen, get a pencil, something. Just put it on paper so you can refer back to it. And then once they're done, you're just like, all right, cool. Just so I can go back over what you said. All right, the first thing you talked about was finance. You said that this was the issue and whatever, and I want to say something to that. And then da-da-da-da-da, right? Now, they give them a chance to respond because you want to make sure that you were in alignment with what it is that they were trying to say. And if you are, bingo, you're listening. And they will let you know that you're listening because you're clarifying. Is that what you were trying to say? Yes. And if not, you're getting clarification, right? On the next thing. All right, the next thing is sex. Okay, so you said, I ain't putting it down on you correctly. Okay, well, how I got to put it down on you to make it better. All right, this is what you need to do. All right, just making sure. So you said, if I do this 3 times a week, then you straight, right? So we're on the same page there. Yes. Okay. By the end of your 10 to 300 list of things to do after, depending on how long that conversation is, brothers, I'm sorry. Sometimes it could be 10 minutes. Sometimes it could be 3 hours. And As men, we can do it. We built for this. It's on our shoulders to handle all that weight. So, but whatever it is, it will make your communication style better. It will make your listening skills better. It will help you to trigger things better. And so if you don't have it, the pen, you might find a way to be able to interject in those moments because you've allowed her to recognize for yourself that you're trying to improve, that you're trying to make it better. And now the conversations over time will end up being better. So if you haven't tried it, I promise you, try it. And again, let me know your tactics. What have you done to either shorten the conversation or on accident made that conversation go longer? Love to hear it. Put in the comments. Like, follow, subscribe, all those good things, whatever the case it is. If you like this, greatly appreciate it. So anyways, you guys, take care. Talk with you soon.